Trying to figure out what all the buttons are again. Hello, everybody. How are we? Is that the right kind of setting? I don't know. You don't want to be that close to me, Jesus. Sharp. Tell me when it's sharp. About that. About there. Good evening, everybody. How are we? It's a bit close. It's a bit close. How's everybody? Good evening. Good morning, Jen. Good evening, Sten. Good evening, Serge. Good afternoon, Peter. You see, am I sharp? I'll be sharp depending on how forward I am in the frame because of this damn camera. One day I'll sort it out, but I think it might actually need me to spend money on it. Good evening, Andrew. How are you, sir? Right, so. I don't know if you all saw the Discord thing earlier. Can you hear us all right, by the way? I'm hoping so. If you saw by the Discord message this afternoon, for some reason, Photoshop and Lightroom decided to not talk to each other, which was all very annoying. It was very, very annoying. So I was like, oh, am I sharp? Yeah, well, everybody knows I'm a bit dull, Peter. I'm a bit dull. Has it? All right. To be honest, because I just Googled it and I didn't see any like recent kind of solutions, so I just kind of ran with it and uninstalled Lightroom, uninstalled Photoshop Beta. And only put on like reset the preferences on both, and reinstall Lightroom and Photoshop. I didn't install Beta. But yeah, I mean it was fine last week, and obviously I think it must have updated Wednesday. There was one day it was like we've just updated something for you, and I'm like, probably didn't want that to happen, to be honest, because everything's always broken. Right, mine was just like, nope. Is it? Oh, well, the clearing preferences is probably an old fix from like 2020, because everything was like that old. I didn't see anything recent. And to be honest, I didn't really fancy getting onto Adobe to find out what was going on. But if it's a widespread issue, then it's not just me. But yes, it did reinstalling did kind of sort it out. So there's the clue if anybody has this issue going forward. Reinstall Lightroom, reinstall Photoshop. Learn to talk, Andy. And yeah, and it might work. So yes, I haven't turned either off just in case it decides not to work. So I know I noticed that as well, Andrew. I did, and I'm like, we haven't got to 2024 yet, because I know Photoshop. The current not beta build is Photoshop 2023 rather. So yes, that was a little bit strange on my point, and I thought, maybe that's why so I thought I would get rid of it and not install Photoshop beta, which is a bit annoying because the Photoshop beta has got the new expand feature, which look pretty cool to play around with, but you know, there's another day for that kind of stuff. So anyways, how's everybody? Apart from having issues with Photoshop, I'm not just the only one. Right, I just haven't bothered reinstalling it, Andrew. I thought I'll just stick with the stable version to see how that gets on. So we'll stick with that and see what happens. So Sten's wet. Are you getting some horrendous weather as well? Because it is not very nice in the UK. Well, certainly, I mean, up here, I don't think we've really seen sunshine since June. It's now August. Well, it's probably the middle of June, to be honest. It's been rubbish. I don't think we haven't exactly had a dry day since, which is a bit annoying. It's a bit annoying. Yeah, that's for down south though, Andrew. I don't think it gets this far. The weather warnings. Wettest July in years. Yeah, I think it was the record. I think it was broke records here as well. June broke records for being the hottest, and then it's been like the coldest and wettest July for a while anyway. I think is what they said. Yeah, but is it not like always a bit damp up your way, Peter? Always. Am I in focus? Is it just the background that's very out of focus? I don't know. Well, the only images that were like highlighted when I was looking at the news articles was just like the middle of the country, Andrew. So I presumed it didn't come up this way because nobody cares about us up here. Pretty much. But yeah. Joy. Well, one day the sun might return. But to be honest, I think I'd rather have the damp, cooler weather than what, like, where Italy's at 48 degrees or whatever. I'd rather have that. I'd rather have 16 degrees and a little bit of drizzle than that. Right, and it's been very wet. But then again, I mean, Peter, you're probably suffering from the same as us. Like us, as in being most of the UK, is that everything to the south of you is scorching hot. And therefore we're getting all the cold, wet weather. Like Spain, probably bottom end of France, most of the Med, Greece, Italy, they've all been hit bad with hot weather. And I know for a fact the middle of America has been toasty warm as well. So you stuck there up in the north. It's where the balance is. Well, obviously we're getting different jet streams or something. Weather. Yeah, I looked at the temperatures the other day, Sergio, and my friend who lives in somewhere in Italy, Andrea, something. I don't know. I could tell you in a minute. Open up the weather app because that's where I've got it listed. So I can, yeah, Andrea, something like that. Yeah, 30 degrees. Tomorrow's 31. Yeah. So much better than the 47s or whatever they were getting the other last week. But yeah. So yeah, I mean, to be honest, I can keep it. I don't want it too warm. Everybody's like, oh, it's so cold, it's so miserable. I'm like, yeah, but I was complaining bitterly in June when it was really warm. So there you go. I'm never happy. I'm just never happy with anything. Yeah. Right, anything else? Do I need to mention anything? Patreon people, the wallpapers and it'll be wallpapers for the start of the month are impending. The only problem is my wallpaper template is in the documents folder of my old computer, which I can't get access to for some stupid reason. Windows will not. I mean, I've taken the. It's here. Here is the C drive, the offending C drive, that I plug it in and it will not let me access the documents. How much out of focus am I? It'll be better because I'm probably going to sit this far back. That maybe is a bit better. I'm never happy. Maybe I've got a French ancestry there, Serge. Maybe I've got Irish. I know that. But yeah, my wallpaper template is on that hard drive in the documents folder. I can get access every other folder on that drive apart from the documents folder. Which is so bloody annoying. Sergio, yes, they are. Thank you very much. Via that link. Because we have systems to prompt such things. Yes, the presets are there and they work with the Nik Collection version 6 as well. The installation process is slightly different to what I've kind of got listed in the how to do it thing. But it's easy to find out. It's easy to find out. Thank you, Serge. Thank you. I think it's basically all just it's permissions based thing. What I was going to do is like there's a hold on a minute. This camera still does this. There's a slot in carriage thing in here, so I'll just whip out the C drive for this one, put in the other one, so it'll like run it as the same computer, and I'll just copy the files that I need to somewhere else. Well, I'll do that. So, thank you, Sergio. Sorry, but yes, they are there. They're still available. All three, I'm saying all three collections. Collections 1 and 2 are in the same package, plus the TNE collection as well. But yeah, right. So yeah, Patreon. If you're not, see if this will work. If I press that button, does it work? I bet it doesn't. No, it does. Just took a while. If you're on Patreon, then your wallpapers hopefully will be with you tomorrow. I may just have to rebuild the template, which might be the faster option. Hi Larry, how are you doing? Good to see you. Nice to see you, sir. Hope the weather's all right over there. I'd imagine it is, being in California and all that. Nice work on the buttons, thanks, King. Thanks, Jen. Yes, remembered I've got buttons to do these things. Yeah. So that's Patreon stuff. So yes, it might be tomorrow by the time I get them done. It might be tonight. I might just do it. I might just do it tonight because I've got to work out what I'm going to give you. To be honest, because I haven't shot anything since like June, in the middle of June. So we're delving further back into the archives again, which is the subject for tonight's episode. Is because I had to do my accounts. I finally did them, got them finished yesterday afternoon, with 9 hours to spare. I had to go back through my catalogue because that's how I work out what mileage I've done through the year. Scientific as anything. As I was going through, and I was like looking to see where I'd been on certain days, I was like, well, there's a few decent images there. So tonight I'm looking at. I mean, it is Bamburgh Castle again. We edit it a lot, and they all end up the same. But this is using data which are just completely glossed over. My initial first look, I thought it was terrible, or certainly not worth it. Worth doing anything with, or worth reserving. So we're going to actually make some images, or a image, out of these rejects. See how it goes on. Excellent, Larry. Good to hear it. Temperature is better. Yeah, it's bloody. Yeah, from what I've heard, it's been a bit toasty over your way. I know your way is a big old state, like a big old area, but I'm sure it's been toasty probably from top to bottom, unless you come from where Jen is, because it's always just grey and miserly. Hi, Christina. By the way, Christina, thank you very much for joining the Patreon. I didn't send you a message, but which one you would recommend? There's the difference is collection 1 and 2. There is I'm thinking 50, 54 presets in that, and then the TNE one is another 28, I think. Thank you very much, Christina. Thank you very much. But welcome along. Glad you can join us here on the live. Yeah, the obviously the one pack is collection 1 and 2, which I've been offering for a number of years, and the TNE one. So basically, the biggest one's got 50 odd, and I'm sure the other one's got like 20 something. And is there over 90 in total? There you go, Serge. So if the two collections together, or rather the two packs together, you'll get 90-ish. I don't know if it's 90, is it, Serge? Anyways, you get a lot, but if you just want to give it a go for the cheap one. That's basically the answer. If you just want to have a play around, go with the TNE collection. That's $12.99. The other one's $22. If you like, if you end up liking the one set and then you would like to have more choice of different presets, then collection 1 and 2 in the one pack is there if you wish. So that's my recommendation. I'm not going to be the arsehole that basically says, "Oh yeah, buy the expensive one," because I don't like being an arsehole. Right, so that's that. So that's the Patreon. Blah blah. That's what we're going to do tonight: is edit an image, and otherwise, let's test this button. Is it going to work? Is it going to work? Is it going to work the right link? No, it's not. Why has it got ambient on the... Well, it's worked. It's loaded it for some reason. Anyways, I don't know why you put sticks 85. I had a feeling it was 85, Serge. I did, whether you know about it or not, I did start up a new YouTube channel, which is completely removed from photography. And it's all to do with like ambient sound. So you can just like stick it on and listen to it, or fall asleep to it, or relax to it, or work to it. It is there. It's like an hour. Both the two videos I've done so far, like an hour and a bit each, of just ambient noise. Basically of rain falling at the moment. But I recorded one at the weekend, which I haven't gone through. But they were cutting corn in the field next door. And I recorded the combine going up and down a couple of times. So that'll be one coming up in the near future, hopefully, fingers crossed, if I ever find time to be able to do these things. Right, 10:08, already wasted God knows how much time. So if you're into ambient sounds and all that, do follow the subscribe to the YouTube. Let's get the subscribers up a bit, and if you listen to it, leave it a like and all that kind of stuff. All that good gubbins. Whatever it is. Right, don't press the stop button, Andy. I wouldn't say a meditation, Sergio. I use it for falling asleep. Well, to be honest, I use it for getting the viewership numbers up a bit. Thank you, Peter. Thank you. Can you tell I've got ambient programmed as a word on there? That'll trigger it. Right, what am I doing? Camera. There we are. Right, so this one particular day, which must have been a Sunday, from November, because it's like you just got a couple of images from Bambara. So I basically looked at these, completely disregarded them being any good or of any use. And to be honest, when I went through it, I thought, there's a little bit of something there. Yeah, so do I, Jen. That's the kind of stuff I use. I don't like silence. I've got to have some noise going. Usually got the sleep headphones on. So obviously they're all over the place, these images, because I wasn't really trying hard. So we'll see how this turns out. Yeah, we've got that problem. Like here I need noise because it's silent, or nearly silent. So I've been known to do that as well, Peter. I found myself sitting in this exact chair with the checking the inside of my eyelids quite often in an afternoon. But that might have something to do with us being like awake from 4 in the morning most days recently. Right, so Andy, stop yakking. Get on with some work. Right, so we're gonna, as you can see along the bottom here, none of these have been marked as being useful. So I was a little bit disturbed at that because there is some potential here. So it's just a case of figuring something out to try to do something with. So I will actually mark the ones I'm going to use. It's definitely those two. Probably that one. And yeah, I know, we're kind of cutting corners because it's Bambara again, and you know me. I dread to think how many times we've edited an image from Bambara. on this exact show. So, lo and behold, we're going to do we're going to do it again. I've actually moved in some of these. Have I? Yeah, I think. No, I haven't. I've done them all from the same place. Right, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 selected, and I've got a feeling I'm going to use that one as well. That one, please, thank you. So I'm going to chuck 6 of them into Photoshop. That'll test out whether it works or not. I'll test it out. Right, so my main image I'm thinking I'm going to base everything around is this one. So I'm going to do the edits on here. And I haven't got any of the presets were my normal preset. This is how fresh I've had to, because of resetting the preferences of Lightroom. It's doing all the teaching you how to use it. Bollocks. What a pain in there. Oh, it's probably reset all the things as well, hasn't it? It has. Damn you. Right, solo mode. Customize, hold on a minute, let's sort these out. What do I usually have? Top lens corrections, the top, and detail, basic. Yeah, that'll do. Oh, I forgot you have to relaunch it. Right, anyways, on her tutorials, Jen, what's it like? Right, okay, let's sort these out. If I know where it is, lens corrections. Take those, take those. Come on. Oh, turn it off. And detail, and expand that. Thank you very much. That's smaller. And then let's go to auto, because I'm lazy. Auto of this, just to see what it's going to suggest. That's pretty garbage. Right. Boost the highlights. Now going on, the others are a bit darker, so I'm going to lift the shadows on this one as well. Even though it's not really ideal. And lift the blacks as well. Vibrance, I'm going to move that just back to 0. So it's a little bit more subtle, otherwise it's going to be pretty hard to play with. You know, think about this bloody microphone being dark. Struggling to see past it. Clarity. Actually, dropping the clarity a little bit might help. Just softens it out a little bit. Could be good, could be good. Right, dust spotting. Just that one by the looks of it. Oh, of course, it's reset all my settings as well on this, hasn't it? That's probably about it. It must have been fairly clean in November. It's not now. It's not now. It needs a clean. Actually, that's a point. I just happened to glance at something the other day. Was it an email? But Nigel Danson's made his own branded. What you call it? Sensor brush. That's what you call it. So that's interesting. Whether it's just like an Alibaba job and he's branded it or not, I don't know. But good on him for doing something else. Right, so that's with them done. Probably just sync these across. Synchronize all these, check all, knock off masking, synchronize. I was going to say, wow. Thought I was going to say 10 minutes there. Yeah, I think must have been in kind of a preview kind of thing, Andrew. It's the first I'd seen of it. But to be honest, I haven't been watching much of his... above there. I haven't been watching much of his... Christina's going to ask the important question here. I can see it. The cop-out answer, Christina, is intuition. Intuition and experience. That's the cop-out answer. Right, let's get these imported, and hopefully these are going to import. Fingers crossed. Right, I'm going to switch this back whilst it's doing it. Free things up. Yeah, basically, Christina, the cop-out answer is I just rely on my intuition and experience of having edited lots and lots of images in the past, that you just get a feel about what's going to work with each image being added, and how I generally edit. So it's just one of them things you kind of adapt into. So that's pretty much how I can explain it. There's no hard and fast rule. Some of it might depend on where there's a light area or a dark area, or a particular composition, or how much detail is in each one, is in each frame. Lots of practice, Jen. Yeah, basically that's a lot of it. Hopefully the sound's actually coming through this, because I know the frame rate's dropping. but yeah, just keep on practicing. That's the answer. In 10 years' time, you shall be able to do this as well. Come on, computer, have you finished? Yeah, getting there. Right. Yeah, so basically, there's like this. Oh, hold on, I need to switch back. Oops. So like, this image is the one that we, just did a configuration in Lightroom. This is nice and soft, so for me, this is ideal. Not a lot of detail, because I like area, dreamier kind of stuff. Light surroundings, that's kind of stuff I like. Good strong subject in the middle, projecting above the horizon, which is fine for me. This one, there's a little bit more detail in here, which might, all of these things are like Hail Mary passes. You've got no idea whether they're going to work or not. And these are, there's a bit more texture here with the grasses. And this one is, again, it's just more about the isolation. This one, it's got a bit of, it's light on the right hand side and it's darker in the corner, so you get more of the edge of the beach and the water. And then this one's just dreamier, so you kind of just think, well, all of them together might come to something. Right. Old stuff and just rebranded, is it, Andrew? Or Alibaba stuff, or AliExpress, or wherever you get these cheap mass-made Chinese things. Darken, right. So, and then we get into the blending. Shush phone. Into the blending, and obviously I use a lot of multiply. I edited an image this afternoon. Well, I tried to edit an image this afternoon before things would break. And I used the difference blend mode. But it ended up the same colour. Well, the original colour, I should say, not the same colour. But today we'll be using multiply as usual. Right, so let's minimize all these. Or hide them all, I should say. So this is probably the kind of composition I'm looking at. So the castle kind of central. I like to work things centrally. Why am I giving you all loads of tips? I'm going to be paying for this. So I'm going to move this into here. Move this one into here-ish. Yeah. Oh yeah, exactly. Oh, he's not gonna flog us rubbish. That's for certain. Let's move this into here. I'm gonna move everything else here, aren't I? Oh, camera, behave. Good evening, Simon Waybean. No, it's good to see you, man. Hope you're well. I'm gonna come into here, about that, and then this dark one. About there. Right, so if I add all them together, and if we move these roughly more into the middle of the frame, and then we might have a little bit more to play with. Let's move it to about there. Alright, so what do we have? Let's knock one off. Now it's about playing with the various layers. I think we've had it, Simon, to be honest. We had it in June. Remember how lovely it was in June? I think that's what we're going to be relying on to get us through the winter. Don't want to be a negative Nancy or anything like that, but I think we've had summer. I'd like to be proved wrong. But... right, so I really quite like that area here. So... piece of building on it now. So I'm not necessarily going to use every single layer that I brought in. Because what I want to do is build the image up. So this one might be a little bit too strong. And this is the one that I really, the good positioning here. So what we might do is just make sure that this kind of does match. See, this is where you start getting a few issues. Is this layer here is a little bit squirmy. New word for the tip game, I think there, Jen. Squirmy. Well, this one's ideal. But it doesn't obviously need to get rid of this edge. But this one, it kind of disrupts a lot of the castle. So, I mean, that might need to do something. Yeah, it's all about. It's always the kids, Simon. As soon as the kids have finished school, that's it. Crap weather. It's like bank holidays or Easter weekend. As soon as they're off, the weather's pants. Right. Okay. What am I doing here? I need to let's reduce the opacity of this one, just so it's retained a wee bit more. Ugh, scratchy eyeball. Right, so this one is obviously we've got that hard line here. So I'm going to mask this. Remember, I'm going to change this to multiply and use the new lovely masking tool. Let's do that. Come on, Photoshop catch up. There we go, lovely. And that's just nice. That's just nice. Thank you very much, Simon. I will no doubt screw it up very shortly. Right. See, because this one... Actually, that's not too bad now. No, it was a strong one. Hold on a minute. Which one I'm on about? So if I bring this one to full strength, what's that look like? No, it's still not. Let's leave that half strength. Let's bring in this layer. But actually, let's reduce this layer, or the opacity of it, to about there. Now, if I bring in this layer, what's that do? Not a lot. Yeah, so we don't really need that layer. Now, what's this layer going to bring to the party? Not a lot. Let's bring in a bit of shadow here, but it needs to be much lighter. So let's bring that back to... could do with a bit more of a bit more oomph. Right, okay, so this one, if I'm just going to put that there, actually. I'm going to mask off the bottom half of this image from about here. So just keep on flicking that on and off. To be honest, I don't really need it actually on the castle. It was only really this area here I kind of wanted it for. So if I bring this in just a little bit more, so it's only really catching this dune here and the shadows onto the beach. So from here I can go the other way, up that way, and that'll bring more of that back in. So there's just a little thin sliver in across the middle, making that little bit difference. Shield my eyes from the studio lights. Bright, not good for editing. That's quite, yeah. Just gives it a little bit more definition across there. So that's on 50%. Yeah, I can probably dial this back to about 40. I'm even tempted to double this layer up. It's a bit much, actually. Let's dial this back. Changing the opacity. You've all gone quiet. What's happened? Define walking distance, Simon. Potentially I could walk to it, but I could also walk to Timbuktu. It's why did OBS just shout at me and say it's reconnected? I think my internet's not as good as what it was. Keeps on dropping out. From my home it is about 13 miles, Simon. So I could potentially walk there, but I ain't doing that. No chance. Right, I'm going to go back to this layer here. I'm going to mask this there, just to take a little bit more out of there. So you can see the mask extends there. That's a big fat no then. Yeah, it's a little bit far. But like I say, I could walk there. Could being the operative word. Right. Right, I'm just going to bin this layer because we don't need it. Actually, I think we'll just trim this down now. New point tune, because I'm not going to do any other versions. What I'm going to do, I can see there's a bit of a line here, so I need to get rid of that. So figure out what layer that's on. Is that on this layer? Yes, it's on that layer. So I need to use the masking tool again, or the gradient tool rather. Whoa! On the wrong layer. Put it on the mask, Andy. There we go. Mask that out. It's lovely. Got rid of that line. Okay, so we are now at this stage. So we want a wee curve, maybe. Actually, it might have been alright before. Yeah, I think it might have been alright before. What are you doing, Andy? Right, let's get rid of that and let's try some hue and saturation. I'm going to try to steer too far away from reds. Just a wee tweak there. To be honest, is even that? No, it's subtle enough, I think. Let's go -1. Let's go +1. So you don't have to move these very far for them to have much of effect. Right, so yeah, it's just a very small tweak. The only other thing is I've just remembered is I still haven't profiled these these monitors, so these colors might be completely whack. They might be completely wrong, and when I do eventually get back on to having everything profiled, I may be very disappointed. I may need to re-edit. Also, remember that the image I edited when the stream crashed like 3 weeks ago. I haven't finished that one yet. I need to get back to finish that. Right, what am I doing? Next step. Right, Analog Effects Pro. Let's open that up, and I have installed my presets. At about 6 o'clock. So I'm not even sure if they're all in there. It says there's 85, so there must be. They must be. Right, so let's have a bit scroll. Now obviously the issue remains that the UI on here is objectively small. Still never heard back from doodads, what you can call them, DxO. Although I think we're just going to pass it on rather than try to fix it. And so everything's still very, very small. Which is not good when you're getting old. So I've been through all 83. Yeah, Serge, it's not. I've been having issues. Right, let's have a look. I was going to say, well, this one looked good, but I think it looked good in small form. Come back here. There is a little change. I was just going to say, like, this point out the fact that some of my presets are very similar, but they are individual. They just happen to be derivatives of each other, that's all. The odd one is a bit like that. All right, so second exposure, that's what I'm after. Oh no, that area there looked quite nice. Looked almost like it was sun hitting it. So it's quite good. We could do one of them very rare occasions where I do this process twice. This is the Gertrude one, isn't it? Must be, yes. And it's all to do with this little corner here, because it just looked like it was one of them moments where the sun comes out and lights up the beach. I can't remember how I did it. Right, so back to there. Yeah, that bit. Yeah, so what I might do here is actually just have this here and really just edit the image for this part, but then come back in and then just blend do the rest of the image and then put the two together. So because I'm going to use the same preset, so it's not that hard to, not too tricky to sort out. But yeah. Right, so that's fun for go to this curve, boost that up to there. Let's just undo that. Leave it as is. Right, so this is going to be an image of attempt this image of two halves. So kind of reasonably happy with this area here, and then we're going to go into Photoshop, come back, and then come back into here, and then kind of concentrate on this area of the image. And we'll see how that goes and see if we can actually join them together. So let's apply that. See how it goes. Oh no. Dribbled on my mouse. Dribbled on my mouse. I pressed too many buttons. Complicated. Complicated. Yes, a bit too complicated for my liking, Andrew. I like things easy and simple. Like me. I think, to be honest, if it's going to be this complicated, sorry, being drink. Well, I think my answer was to ease the complication, as I'm going to go and get a drink. So. Get a proper drink. We put it there. Right. Cheers, everybody. Oh, I'm not in a whiskey. I'm not in a whiskey mood at the moment. We had some at the weekend and it was rank. Right, did we come back into here? Have I been back into Photoshop? Yes, I have. Yes, I have. Right, so it was Gertrude's. That one. So, second exposure again. So, we are just going to move stuff around until it looks cool, basically. But for this, I think I might kind of reduce. See, the exposure balance is positive here. It needs to come back because we're losing a lot of detail in this. The balance is all off. So after all this work, previous work, having everything editing for stuff over here, it might actually not come to anything. Which wouldn't be a surprise. We can do an image of two halves, like so. Oh, we could have an image like this. That'd be pretty cool. We put that over there. No, too much. Like so. There we go. That's better. Gone a bit too far. That's gone too far. I hate this. Go on, Jade, see what you're doing. You've all gone quiet again. You know I don't like it when you go quiet. No, that's too far. What number is in that in there? I can't see. Oh shit. 18. It's 22. Can't see. Well, it's kind of made of dust. It is sandstone. You mean this isn't the library? Try 20. Oh, it's a real problem. I can't. The stuff's that minute. I can't see. Comparison. Okay, that's fine. Lens vignettes. It's doing nothing. No, it needs more than that. Two 2K display. Magnifying glass certainly going to help. I mean, even me putting my glasses on is not going to make much difference for that. That's right, Andy. Just. Oh, yeah. I mean, I know they've been steadily updating their programs for a while. Good evening, Peter. By the way, how are you? Hope you're well. Since the move, I mean, obviously, the version 6 is like the finish of their updating all the modules, but there've been one or two of them have been gradually being changed. And it's been hellish. But now that now that it's into the software that I actually use, it's like, god damn, I can't see a damn thing. Even putting on the glasses makes a little bit of difference, but not a lot. Makes you realise how blind you are when you put these on. Nice to see you anyway, Pete. I hope you're doing well. Right, so this is it takes us a while for the old peepers to be able to adjust to having glass in front of them again. I should really use my glasses more often, but you know. Don't want to admit defeat. Move up to 10. To be honest, there's not a lot more. That's too much. Because we're going for that sunset kind of look. See, we might not actually need that left-hand side bit. We'll maybe be able to get away with it. Might just use this part. Right, I'm going to apply this, and then we'll try to see if it's possible to bring them together again in the old Photoshop. And then whatever in Photoshop I'll be able to see again, not need them. Ugh. Monitor a bit more around there. Demolished it with the mic stand. Right, turn that on. So that is. It's going to be interesting if this is going to work or not. Right, I'm going to copy that there just in case I screw things up. Yeah, it means spending money. The search. I want to spend more money. Right, people. Now what yeah, let's edit this one. Right, mask. Need a mask. Need a thingy. So we have that. We could go bring that over here. What's that look like? That looks alright. And I've just gone the wrong way with that. Yes, I have. That's looking okay. Right. That's looking all right. That's look. Thank you, Peter. I think it's mainly because this. Oh, that's better now. Now I've got over my first first swig. It tastes a bit better. Just I think this definitely helps. It sets things off. Much nicer. Much nicer. Come back in. Come here, chef. Yeah, right, okay, so we have, that is fine. Maybe it's like this lighter over here. Should we? So, we could come a little bit further over. So maybe it's there, just little tweaks. Could we lighten the sky? Potentially. Right, so if we've gone the wrong direction. I have. They've even changed it and I still go in the wrong direction. So we could maybe even reduce the opacity slightly as well. I don't know. I know I go on about like leaving things unbalanced, but I do see a bit of an issue here because it's going to leave it very unbalanced. I'm not going to be happy with it. Maybe it's because this bottom corner's got nothing in it. That's maybe what it is. So, if that's got nothing in it anyway. That's got a bit in it. So, if I could paint back in that corner. Paintbrush, where are you? There you are. Let's make you bigger though. Let's bring you down to 50 and you down to 50. And let's make that bigger. And continue to paint. We've got some more grasses coming in. 16 by 9. Well, to be honest, Andrew, I was thinking 16 by 9 anyway, because I need another candidate for a wallpaper to send out to the lovely Patreon people. Where's the Patreon button? The Patreon button. Do I need to click that? I need to click that. So if you are a Patreon, you may well, or nearly guaranteed, to get this as a wallpaper tomorrow. Subtle plug. Take it back in analog effects. Potentially, Peter, yeah, I think I might. Yeah, I know you and me, Peter, we're the same. We like the unbalanced stuff. However, in this case, it just needed a little bit something. It needed a little bit something. And obviously my face is protruding into that bottom corner, so you can't really see. I'll zoom out a bit. Now you can see the full goal. It's a bit through the middle of it. Right, yeah, but I am going to go back into... Oh, that's a scratch on the screen. That's what that is. I'm going to put it back in Analog Vex Pro, basically just to see what it is, what it's going to do. So what was that? Could I put that on? A different blend mode? No. Don't, Andy. Behave yourself. Right, if we go back into Analog Effects Pro and pray that nothing breaks at this stage, because I quite like this. Very Wallace and Gromit. Oh no. What, when I went like that? Right, so. Don't know if there's anything here that'll enhance it further, to be honest. There's plenty of stuff here that'll blow it out of the water. But to enhance is a different kettle of fish. So don't want to go too red. Nearly to the point of being done with red. Didn't mean that, by the way. Did not mean that. That's a more moody interpretation. And you got the light on the beach there. Just for giggles. For giggles, this is looking alright. Could do with some colour work. I need some detail in it. Detail extraction, maybe a bit more brightness. The amount of brightness I can control though. Glasses will let it come back on. Do what I can see. Move the microphone, excuse me. Because when doing this, I can bring it back in, but I can bring it in at a reduced opacity as well. Yeah, you basically beat us with your text there, Peter, right? Probably, or you bring it in and blend it again with some, with the previous layer, or just put it in as a reduced opacity. It's probably the answer. But I have a feeling this is a little bit strong. I think it was definitely going to have to come back in as reduced opacity. Exposure balance, there's no zoom on there, is that? No. Let's bring it in a little bit more. Seems a bit. I think that's basically going to be the bit of the issue, Peter. So I'm going to bring it in, but I'm going to play around with the blendy bit of it. Lift that. Let's not lift that. But yeah, that's a lot. Always an issue with a lot of my images. It becomes a bit muddy. So let's apply that. So I think maybe it's not actually even use this layer, but if I do use it, I just kind of reduce opacity, so like maybe 20%, or even just masking. Use mask on certain areas. I think might be the solution. I go too far now. Right, it's definitely a lot different to the previous. So you got before, after. There are certain bits you can use, like the sky, to enhance the old stormy sunset kind of look. So let's go with that. We need a mask. There. Let's give way more atmosphere to there. So we turn that on and off, so you can see it's only the sky. You could be a bit more selective around here. But also you could paint in certain areas. So we are working on a slightly reduced. It is getting a bit muddy. It's fine for the sky. I hate how it adds in showing and hiding in the history state. It's the most annoying thing ever. Right, if I go in here and go to bloody tools, let's zoom in to here, into the castle, smudge. No, didn't mean P, I meant to go the other button. Where's the thingy? No, the eraser, that's the one. Oops, wrong button. What is going on? Opacity. I want size. Make it bigger. Thank you. Alright, that needs to be a soft brush. Why am I clicking there? This needs to be 50-ish, and that needs to be 50-ish, and that's... Oh god, that's terrible. No! Forward! Less opacity. I know what I'm doing, honest people. Honestly. Just generally over the top of the castle there, like that, like so. There we go. That'll probably be AB enough. I keep on looking for the navigation thing there. It's not there. Because it's a new install, everybody. Right, so turn that on and off. Okay, and add this a bit stronger. It's a 2 version of people. Right. Adjustments, curves layout. Go here. Boosting all that, isn't it? Yeah, I don't think I need that. Do I need that on? Why do I care so much? I could have just gone, yeah, whatever. Actually, that boosts the colour a little bit more, so it's not as muddy with that on, I think. Right, so I need this version, I need the other version as well. Right, how big's this? Save. I did one this afternoon and saved it quite. Not going to show me. Not going to show me. Right, if I save this, I'll see how long this takes. With the new cooking on gas power. I don't know about Terrific, Peter. But you're getting it as a wallpaper anyway. God, has it flown through that? We're on to 98% and it's saved it already, people. What's going on? Would be sitting here for 10 minutes. I think it's probably because it's 240 DPI. Come on. Okay, right. So that's that version saved. And we want this version, don't we? Yes. Yes, we want this version. So we want to flatten this. Okay. File, save as. Where the hell is this going to save it as? That is saving it in the right place. Okay. No, I edit 2, sorry. Save. I think these are all set differently as well. Bloody TIFFs and... Maybe it's because it's a TIFF. That's maybe why it saved it quicker than PSD. I don't know. Don't know. Right, okay. That took a while for it just being a single layer. Right, anyways. Undo that and I'm going to add that one in. And so just got this one. Maximize my options. You know I love it. File, save as, and then version 3. Save. Okay. Need to reset these back to PSD. Done. Right, okay, let's back into Lightroom, give that 3 stars, and give you 3 stars, and give you 3 stars if you insist. Right, so virtual copies all for everybody. Right, we need a 16:9 crop for the well, I think it needs more. This one I think definitely needs more sky, so that's good. So that's a decent crop. I could do with a little bit more light around there. Is there a bit of something I can use to pull out? Clarity? Potentially. Dehaze, potentially. Texture, less so. I'll have to use quite a lot. Right, just because it seems to fade into the background there. Let's go to mask. Don't care. Radial. That there. No, I don't want it like that. I want clarity. And some texture. And some dehaze. No, not dehaze. Let's leave that as it is. And that just gives it a little bit more definition. Let me scale back over on there. Just gives it a little bit more strength. Okay. Let me get out of this again. Wunderbar. Right. So that's that one. I don't think that's creative enough. Is this going to work at 3x2? Potentially. Let's get a little bit of that. Could have used the expand feature, of course, had I been able to install beta. Just go with that. That might be all right. Do for now, anyway. So that's that one. Obviously needed a 16 by 9 for wallpaper. This one was the other version. I think this is definitely needed a little bit of clarity. Wee bit of clarity. Boost the whites to add in a little bit of light. Just to lightens that up a little bit more. Bit of contrast. No. Smidgen of contrast, maybe. A smidgen. I think. It was that. Now that. Yeah, I think it's been alright. Crop out the rabbit? What rabbit? I'm going to well, for this one, I'm going to crop more to the bottom. Like so. Because there's less drama in the sky for this one. So we're good there. Okay, that's that one. And then this one, I think again we want a bit of... not that much texture. A wee bit of... smidgen of clarity. Leave the D here as it is. Touch of contrast. A few little tweaks of them. And then this one. I mean, to be honest, this could, because I mean, you can still see the detail out here. So this could be. Let's go create a virtual copy. We'll get a couple of versions out of this, I think, because I was initially just thinking bog standard square crop. Stick it on Instagram and forget about it, kind of shot, like a so. But I think 16 by 9 as well for this. Like so. Do we want it? So, Patreon people, would you like three wallpapers of exactly the same image, just different cropped, just for a change for this month? That'd be interesting. I don't want it in the middle, but just a hint there, kind of split difference like that. So yeah, this one's actually all right. I don't mind it. I went like that. Like so. Like so. So that's turned out all right, I think. So we got that one, and let's see that one. Library. Three potential wallpapers there. I think they've turned out. Canny really, for them all being rejected images. Rejected as being useless, of no worth, and had I been ruthless, I'd have deleted them months ago. Yet here we are. Just another example of never throw away your stuff. Don't go away, antivirus thing. Never throw away your stuff, because you might go back to it later on when you're really bored and have nothing else to do, and you have editing to do. You can make some images out of it. So yeah, all right, I'm quite happy with how these things have turned out. Hope you've enjoyed that. So if you like any of these final results, leave the stream a like. Give it a like, it helps. Thanks, Edge. Indeed. Presume that was an indeed of don't throw away your stuff. because you might be missing out on a masterpiece. You might. We do love a like, Jen. We do. Right, so that's your final results for the evening. I'm torn of which version I like. It might be the really simple version. Exactly. That's the thing. That's the thing, Larry. You just don't know. You approach it with different eyes, different techniques, different technology. I mean, look at all the stuff we can throw at our images now. You could utilize AI to fix things or expand your canvas, and all that kind of stuff. Great. There's no reason to chuck it away, and storage is nice and cheap these days, cheapish. Yeah, it'll blow away one day. One day it will. You're most welcome, Peter. It's always great to have you, and other Peter as well. Two Peters. We do, to be honest, Larry. We do. It pushes our skills further. So it makes you wonder, out of all the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of images that I've made with a lot of time and dedication. How many masterpieces are sitting there, waiting to be found. You just never really know. Too many to even have a go at. That's for certain. Have I given up on threads yet? To be honest, Peter, yes. Like I say, to be honest, like the first 2 days is about the only time I actually used it, and then I looked in again about a week later, and then I don't think I've looked at it for 10 days. Don't think I've even opened it. But I know Thingy Zuckerberg was on about how it had usage had dropped off by a half or something. So, but yeah, I just haven't been. To be honest, I haven't had time. That's always my thing. And when it came out, I didn't really have time then either. So yeah. And I've pretty much given up on Twitter or X or whatever it's called now. Used to spend days on it, but not anymore. It's a bit crap. Didn't hold back there, Peter. Yes, it's not the best. It's just like Threads is just. Yeah, it's just a bit naff. I think maybe once it beds in a bit more and they get rid of, more of a curated timeline, seeing like people you actually follow. Is there, but it just seemed to be everything over the top. It was just horrible. Thank you very much, SB. Yes, they do, and to be honest, I also go by the old adage that a painting is never finished; it is simply abandoned. And I kind of go along with that with my photography as well. It's like, because I'm so editing heavy, then it's all very much a case of like, yeah, that's enough. If I go any further, I'm going to ruin it. Or I could go and be very finicky and do a lot. Maybe break out the Wacom tablet and do a load of sketching on it and an enhancement that way. But what's the point? What's the point? So I have a tendency of just abandoning my images at a certain point, which you've probably just seen tonight as well. But thank you very much for coming along and watching, everybody. Much appreciated. What kind of... Oh, we've been on the usual viewership. Very good, very good. Always good. Right. Yeah, you worked that way. You worked that way. No worries, Andrew. Good to see you, man. We'll catch you next week, hopefully. And Larry, good night. Oh, well, I was going to say good afternoon to you, sir. Enjoy the rest of your day. Those on, over Western Yankee land, enjoy your day. If you're over here, enjoy your evening, or what's left of it. But it's been lovely to have you all. Thank you again for supporting me by coming along and watching. That's the main, for me, that's the main thing. So massive thanks for that. And no worries, Jen. Thank you for modding, Jen. You've worked hard again this evening, as you can tell. Not a bad word anywhere. No harassment or anything like that. So you kept them away. Thank you very much, Jen. Right, have a lovely rest of the week, everybody, and I should see you next week, barring disasters or Lightroom not working or whatever. Cheers, Simon. Good to see you, man. Thank you all. See you, Peter. Right, the long goodbye. Right, till the next one, which will be next week, hopefully. See you.